All right, we're still waiting on one more, but we'll just think we'll go ahead and get started, and hopefully they'll join us soon. I'm going to keep everyone unmuted just in case you do have questions throughout this, but there gets to be a lot of background noise. I might just mute all of y'all. So if you can mute yourself on your end, either on your phone or computer, that sometimes helps with some of the extra background noise. But it sounds pretty good so far, so we'll go with it. So I just want to, first of all, just welcome everyone. This is Matt Schnarr who's speaking. I've spoken to most of you before. For those that don't know me, I'm the Community Development Coordinator here at the Campus Kitchens Project. So we are just really excited for this grant competition that's about to start. We know that you put in already a ton of work and a ton of effort. And I hope you guys are just as excited as we are. All your videos look amazing. Every time we get one in, we just get super excited because they're really great. And just while we really are excited and it's great to foster a really healthy sense of competition, we just want you all to remember that you all are going to be a part of the Campus Kitchen Network at some point. So it's really exciting for everyone. So regardless of the outcomes of the competition, we'll know that we're all going to be doing really great work really soon at our campuses. So this webinar will have a couple purposes, one of which is to make sure that everyone's just clear on how the competition is going to work next week. So we'll go over just the logistics of the timeline, how voting works, and kind of everything we need to know to make sure that goes really smoothly. And then the other important part of this webinar is to help you all prepare for getting out the vote and to make sure that you're really utilizing all of your outlets to reach all the audience, all your different audiences. So for that portion, I brought in our resident social media guru here in the office, Linda Kurtz, and so we'll hear from her a little bit more about some general social media outreach strategies, and then also just she'll explain a little bit of how our system actually works. Let's make sure I can get this going. There we go. But before we move into this fully, I wanted to take a moment to recognize our amazing sponsor of this grant competition, which is the Sodexo Foundation. Their amazing commitment to ending hunger across the country is really inspiring, and we're really have been excited and really proud to be able to work with them and provide these grants for you all. So we definitely want to take a moment to shout out for them. So let's just jump right into it and get this done as quick as we can. So let's talk a little bit about the basics of the competition so we're all on the same page. The competition is going to run from January 20th through January 29th. And it will begin when we will post your videos on our voting page, which you'll see below. We'll do that, and you'll be able to see those videos on Monday, January 20th in the morning. They'll be posted and ready to view and vote for those videos. The competition closes at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 29th, which is that Wednesday. It's a 10-day, around a 10-day competition that the videos will be up and ready to be voted on. So as you see, the main page, all the videos will be seen, and there'll be the leaderboard with the vote tallies. Will be at campuskitchens.org/videos. But then you each will have a personalized link to your specific video that if you want to use to take people directly to your video, which will be something like campuskitchens.org/Emory University or whatever your school is, that will be your direct link to your video. And we're going to look at the actual page here in a second in real time, but I just want to give some quick just things about the basics. So there we go. All right, so the voting rules. So the main thing you're going to need to know as you are promoting your video is that there's a limit of 1 vote per person or per IP address per day. So that basically means that a person can vote from their same computer only once in a 24-hour period. So a few things to note. If you are voting from a network of computers, perhaps from a computer lab or your library that all share one IP address, there may be some issues, and it won't let you vote again because it will think in that day from different computers because it'll say it thinks that you've already voted that day. But know that that limitation, while it's not ideal, it's going to be the same for everyone participating. So you don't have any disadvantage or advantage over anyone else because that's what we use as kind of the one little issue with the IP address thing is that if it is connected to one server, such as group computers, you might run into some of those issues. So I do want to reiterate again, though, while this is a competition, we should remember that we're all going to be a part of the same family. So cheating, please don't do it. You are prohibited from obtaining any kind of votes by any fraudulent or inappropriate means, including offering prizes or other incentives to prospective voters. And any votes that are received from IP addresses in excess, so more than 10 times, will be void. And also using any kind of script or macro or any kind of robotic automated systems to vote with the intent to clearly impair the voting process is prohibited, and all those votes will also be void. So basically, I don't foresee there being any issues, but let's just make this a clean match. And I don't think we'll have any issues with cheating, but we needed to put that out there so we know where we stand on that issue. All right. So let's talk about how to vote. This is also very important because there really is only one way that your video can receive votes. Let's see, so we'll just go right to it. So each video is going to have a button that says Vote Now. It's a gray and orange button that's either going to be above the video, like in this slide right here. This is on the main page where it shows the leaderboard and all of the videos. And then if you click on it, your individual video link page will have the button, same looking button, but down on the bottom right. By clicking that button, that is the only way you're going to register any votes. So it's really important to remember that that is the only way that you're going to receive votes that count. So while we learned that, let's learn how not to vote so we don't do anything, so we don't have any wasted votes. It's important to note that you'll see here, if you click the like or share button or tweet button or anything else on the video below, that's not going to register any votes to the official page. The same goes for, if you post your video on Facebook, if people like that post, make sure it's very clear to the user that, and I think Linda will talk a little about this, that they know to go to the official voting page to click on the Vote Now button to vote for your video. So the same if you happen to click into the actual YouTube video, and you like the YouTube video on YouTube, not going to get you any official votes, sadly. So be sure to always be pushing people when you're sharing it through social media back to this main page with either your direct link to your video or back to the main page that shows the leaderboard and everyone, and they can vote for the videos right there. So hopefully that's pretty simple. Just remember, you can only use that Vote Now button. All right, so I did that. Oops, come on, I'm crazy. Sorry. Now I'm gonna shoot this over to Linda, who will talk to you all about social media and all that great stuff, and then I will come back and finish out this, going into a few more logistics. But here is Linda. There we go.
Hey everyone, my name is Linda. I am the Online Community Engagement Manager here at the Campus Kitchens Project. And so a lot of what I do for my job is sharing things on social media. So I just wanted to give you guys a few tips that I have come up with and that Matt and I have talked about, just to make sure that when you all are sharing, you're doing the best job that you possibly can to get the most people to possibly vote for your videos. So Matt has already sent you a few documents, and we'll be sending them to you again either today or tomorrow. It's actually updated versions of those documents, which he'll remind you of at the end. But we've given you some images you can use and some sample posts. And up on the screen, we just have a couple of the sample posts. I included for Twitter, the handles of your universities, and for a few of you, where applicable, the handles of your sponsoring offices, if I could find them on Twitter. If you know that your sponsoring office has a Twitter handle and it's not on that document that we have sent you and we'll send you again today or tomorrow, feel free to use it. I just couldn't find it, and that would be great. So the more people that you can include in your tweets by tagging them like I did on this first tweet, I tagged us as Campus Kitchens and then Emory for an example, the better, because the likelihood that I as Campus Kitchens will retweet that tweet is very high because it's easy for me to find it. And the hope is that your universities will share this as well and easily can retweet your tweets, and then hopefully, especially if you've talked to them, which we'll talk about in a minute, prompt them to tweet about it themselves through their own accounts. And then that just lets people know, especially if they're looking at it, if you're tweeting as just yourself, your personal account, that'll give people some context of like, oh, what is this school that you're talking about if they don't know you that well? And then they can click on that and see, oh, it's Emory University, blah, blah, blah. And it just gives the tweet a little more context, a little bit more officialness is my unofficial word that I'm using right now. You'll notice that on all of the sample posts that we've given you, there's a bit.ly link, bit.ly/CKP grant. And that link will go to the main voting page, which I'll show you in just a minute. It is my recommendation that you just use this bit.ly link because it's really easy. If you do want to send people straight to your video, that's cool too, and I'll show you how to find that link as well. But the bit.ly link, A, takes up less space, especially on Twitter and Facebook, and B, is just easy. And like I said, we'll go to that page in just a second. And then at the bottom of this screen are a couple of the images that I've created for you all. And again, we will be sending you those again because they have been slightly refined. They are basically the same, but better. So each of you has two images, one that has a screenshot from your video, and then another that's just the same image in the middle of one of our great Campus Kitchens volunteers giving us a thumbs up. That is a really fun image to use. So when you're posting online, I would recommend that you do not post, please do not post the YouTube URL to your video online. Because like Matt said, no one can vote for your video through YouTube, and so you're just going to send them to the wrong place, and it's going to be confusing, and don't direct anyone in the wrong direction. You want to set them up for success, not up for failure, and give them 10 steps in a post when it's easier for them just to click on the YouTube link. So it is my recommendation that you either share the bit.ly link or the link straight to your video. You'll see that on the Facebook post I've given you. Usually what I do when I'm posting for Campus Kitchens project is post an image and then put a shortened link with the image. So people can click on the image and see the image, and then they'll see to click that link to go do this action. You can do that, or you can just post the link. The image that the link pulls up will be a sort of a generic image, but I will show you exactly how you can change that image so you can maybe get a screenshot of your video instead. So I guess let's do that. All right. So right now, you should be looking at basically what the video competition page will look like. This is actually a test page, so it isn't the actual page. So if people are going to the actual page, they're not going to see this. So if you go to campuskitchens.org/videos right now, you're not going to see this, but it's cool, don't worry. So this is what the page is going to look like starting on Monday. And the top just gives everyone just a little bit of context as to what this competition is that they're clicking on. And then the first thing that they're going to see is a leaderboard. And once there are votes, the leaderboard will intuitively be organized with who has the most votes at the top all the way down to who has the fewest votes. Right now, obviously, there are 0 because no one has been voting. And then if you keep scrolling down, all of your different videos are on here. Now, one really cool thing that we've done so that no one has an unfair advantage is that the videos are randomly rotated, randomly generated when someone goes to the page. So also a tip, do not direct anyone and say, our video is the second one on this page, because it will not be the second one for everyone all the time. This is just so that, if people are randomly coming across this page, they have a chance to look at all of them and decide who they want to vote for, as opposed to just clicking vote for the very first video. So let's just pretend I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom, and here's Troy's video. And again, this is just a test. This is not me actually voting for Troy. Don't get upset. So if someone comes to this main video page, what they'll do is they'll click the Vote Now button, and then it'll say +1, 1 vote, thanks for your vote. That's how they'll know they voted. They've got a little bit of confirmation there. And so if someone tried to vote right away and they clicked on it again, nothing would happen. It will say to them, you can vote after 1 day, and it still only has +1. This is even the case if someone refreshes the page. Let me show you this also. Just give it a second. And I'll find Troy's video again. I know it's still loading. All right, you can see it still says vote now, but if I click on it, nothing happens. It reminds me you can vote after 1 day. So as you can see, you can only vote for a video once a day. So if I click on the words vote for Troy, this is the page that will pull up that is your unique URL to only your video. And then this is also how you vote, is clicking here in the bottom right, just like Matt showed you. I can't do it again, obviously, but that's how someone would vote if they went to this unique URL page. I'm going to go back to the other group page real quick, and I just want to show you what our social share buttons do. So, excuse me, a really, really, really great way to build momentum around this competition and to get a wider audience of people than you personally know yourselves to vote is to share on social media. That's probably very straightforward and obvious, but it is. So we have some built-in buttons here. So when you click on the tweet button, a little window pops up. And what this social share button does is it pulls from the title of this entire page. So if someone wants to share from this page, including yourselves, I recommend editing this to not say, maybe not just vote for the next Campus Kitchen, but maybe say, vote for Troy University for the next Campus Kitchen or something like that. So you can edit this text to say whatever you want it to say. And I can't spell today. I spelled whatever incorrectly just for you guys. And so the URL will still be there. It comes through this via Campus Kitchens automatically. You can delete that if you want. If you don't, like I said, pretty much any tweet that we are tweeted at next week for the competition, I will retweet. Equal opportunity, I will be promoting all of your videos, and I'll get to that in a minute also. So that's how you edit a tweet, and then you just click tweet and it'll go through, but I will not tweet on behalf of Matt. Another thing you can do is hit the Facebook like button. And it doesn't do anything, so I just like this video as Matt. He'll have to go through and undo that later, but then that might show up on his timeline. You know how you'll see some activity of your friends like so-and-so, just like whatever. Hopefully that will drive your friends to the page as well. And then you can click Facebook Share, and it will pop up. And awesomely enough, it says Vote for Troy right here, and you can say something like, you know, vote for Campus Kitchen at Troy University, why, et cetera, et cetera. And then you click Share Link. Now, when you're going to post on a page, I'll time out on that. I'll go back to that in a second. I'm sorry. Was there any questions so far about anything I've gone over? Okay. I know that was a lot. We also have sent you a page of Outreach 101 tips that unfortunately is not loading on my computer, but I will go over from what I remember generally. We highly recommend that you engage as many folks as you can in this competition and get as many of your networks as possible to share it. So if you're involved in other student organizations that you think would be willing to share this on their social networks, do that. Or if you can go to meetings of other groups that you're in and say, hey, we're in this competition, you go to campuskitchens.org/videos with an S and pick, you know, vote for us, great. Even better, I mean, that is awesome, but a step up from that, as you can imagine, is getting your university to share this. Your university's network is probably way a lot larger than yours personally is. So that is something that, if I were you, I would start sooner rather than later if you haven't already started. Approach someone in your media relations or your campus communications office and you know, let them know that you're doing this competition. Is there any way that you all would post about this on Facebook at least one day? Is there any way that you all would tweet about this maybe a couple times in the 10 days this competition runs? Is there any way that you know, you as a student could write a blog post for them to put on the news sections of their website, or an article, or would they be willing to write an article and you'd help them out? Any way that they can use their giant national campus channels to promote your video will be awesome for your video. And we'll also show people in the university, or that are connected to the university, that, you know, the school is bought into this and they think it's awesome, which obviously they do, or you wouldn't be participating. So as many other networks that you can get involved in this, the better. And we've given you some tips. Another network that you could try to get involved is alumni. You know, people who went to your school still care about your school, and hopefully they share it with their friends, and just imagine sort of the growth that that would have. Something that I added to this document that we're resending you tomorrow, like I said, we're resending you everything tomorrow, is a blog post about effective email subject lines. You know, it's great if you're going to email, probably maybe not including your relatives. They'll probably open all the emails you send them, but other people who, you know, how many emails do you get a day? I know I get hundreds a day, and I don't open all of them. So what are the words that you need to have in an email subject line that makes it more likely that people will open them? I've included that in there for you guys, just to try to set you up for success. So again, you'll be receiving that tomorrow. Okay, we're going to go back to the presentation. This one. Okay. So like I said, I'm going to be presenting your videos equal opportunity. So we have come up with a calendar for which days we as a national network will be featuring each school, and we've just done it alphabetically to try to be fair. So on Monday the 20th, not going to be featuring anyone. It's just going to be all about the grant competition is starting today. Go to this page and vote, just generally all the time. And then starting on Tuesday, we'll be doing one school a day. So you can see here which day you're on. And the reason I tell you this is A, just so you know, and you don't wonder, on Tuesday why I'm promoting Emory if you're at Green Bay and you're not till the, you're wondering where your turn is. But B, be on the lookout for our tweets and the posts on our Facebook page so that you can share it, show that the national network is behind you, et cetera, et cetera. I just wanted to make sure that you all would be on the lookout for the posts specifically about your video. And in each of the posts, I'm doing a little bit of a about you, sort of, like what your campus kitchen in your specific community would hope to accomplish, or what are the assets already in your community that this campus kitchen would build on, that sort of thing. To just make it a little bit personalized. And so you will see those posts on those specific days. And then the other thing that I just want to mention, like Matt said in the beginning of the presentation, this competition, the grants are sponsored by Sodexo Foundation, one of our first and biggest supporters. And so you'll notice in some of the sample posts we share with you tomorrow that several of them are attributed to Sodexo. So a sample tweet might read, help us win a $5,000 grant sponsored by Sodexo Foundation to start a campus kitchen, with the link. If you're not a Sodexo school, you might be wondering why we put that in there. And like I said, it's because they're one of our biggest supporters of the network. And at some point, you will be a part of this network. And Sodexo, even if they're not your dining service provider, will be a supporter of your kitchen. So it would be great if all of you could at least once give them a little shout out. I'm not saying you have to tweet about Sodexo all day, all the time. But that's why that's in there, just in case you're wondering. And they will actually also share anything that you post on Facebook or Twitter. They're really excited about this competition. I've shared with them all of you and all of your videos, and they are on the lookout for it as well. And again, as many networks can share your video, the higher chance that someone else sees your video and votes for it. So Sodexo is just another great national organization with a really wide reach that is excited to share your stuff. So the more you tweet at them, the better. Okay, any questions about social media, anything? Alrighty, if not, Matt can give you my email when he sends you all of the outreach stuff tomorrow or today, whenever he's doing it. And you can email me at any time over the course of the competition to, ask questions, check things, whatever you need. I'm here for you guys. All right, and I will now give it back to Matt.
All right, thanks, Linda. Okay, we have just a couple last logistics, and then we'll be done. So let's move on to the prizes, the fun part. Yeah. So like you all know, we'll be giving out 5 individual grants of $5,000. But we do have a breakdown of the installments of the grant money and how you can use that money in those installments. So you'll see immediately upon if you are chosen, or if you guys are chosen, if you earn it by getting the top 5 votes, you'll be issued $1,500, and that is to ideally be used for a planning fellow. And now what a planning fellow really is you can then hire a student to complete the rest of the planning process. So finishing out the rest of the steps on the online planner and getting yourself ready to launch. So all those kind of last-minute little logistics and things. We've just seen that if you have someone that is their key role, and there's the incentive of being that fellow to do this, that it moves a lot more quickly. Some of you are probably thinking, I might not need a fellow, whether that be that you think you're going to launch fairly quickly and have a lot of that together, or maybe you have a staff person that's really heading a lot of this up. If you feel like a fellow wouldn't be helpful, and we see that especially a fellow would be helpful if you're going to be doing some planning into the summer. If maybe you're looking to launch during the summer or right after, it can be really helpful to have a student there to really spearhead those efforts. But again, if you do feel like the money could be spent else in another way in the beginning especially, and you have someone that really is already on point that won't need that fellow, we can talk about that individually once, if you are if you do receive one of those $5,000 grants. We can talk about kind of how you think that could be maybe utilized better. So it is a bit flexible, but we've seen a lot of again, good things come from doing this planning fellow method. So then to move on, then $800 is then issued upon the completion of the planner. So once either you or your fellow or you all as a group have completed all the steps and are ready to launch, you get either $800 is issued to buy any startup supplies. So whether that be equipment, pots and pans, disposables, aprons, any kind of staple goods, just things to really set your Campus Kitchen ready to go. Those things that might be insulated bags, those one-time costs that you need to really get your Campus Kitchen started. So that money can go to that. At the same time, you'll also receive an in-kind worth $1,200 in-person setup site visit. So that means one of our National Campus Kitchen staff is going to come to your campus for 3 to 4 days and make sure that everything is ready for your operations, and any costs for special launch events or anything like that will be covered within that time. So that's a really great tool and a great kind of kickoff to make sure that you just really are on the right foot to get things started and to get things to be really sustainable and great. And then lastly, you'll see once you have a successful launch and you guys are up and running, right after your the setup site visit, you'll receive the remaining $1,500. And that money can be used just to ensure kind of any overall financial stability or any other costs you might have, moving forward as your Campus Kitchen. Excuse me. So that is the breakdown of the installments of the grant. Lastly, we'll talk a little bit about to remember to just really keep up the momentum that you're gonna get a lot of motion over these next 10 days with this competition. So it's important to really stick to a launch date, and that should be as soon as you can. I think just so you do know though, you must launch by September 30th, 2014. So that's the final date through this grant and this agreement that that you must launch your Campus Kitchen. I know I've talked to a lot of you already, and you are excited and ready to launch, this semester. As I don't think, I'm just saying you don't need to wait to that end. And I think our advice is to launch as soon as possible. But if you happen to not be able to launch by that date, you will, for one, not receive the remainder of your funds, and then maybe forced to return any amount of the grant that has already been paid. Not to be scary. Again, I think everyone's going to be just fine. You all are set up to launch far sooner than that, but just know that that is the end date that you must launch your Campus Kitchen. One just last reminder, remember that even if you are one of the schools that don't receive one of the 5 grants, you will still launch your Campus Kitchen at some point, and probably soon. We have lots of other opportunities for funding, and we are going to continue to work with you. And you've already put in so much work, you know that. You've done the heavy lifting, and so regardless of the winners and the losers, we know we all are going to be a part of this network very, very soon. So that's a really exciting thing, and I'm really looking forward to this competition. So that is pretty much all I need to say in terms of logistics. If we had some people come in a little bit late, I'm recording this, so I'll send this out to everyone regardless. And if you have any questions about some of the beginning things, we can talk about that. Remember, I'm going to give you guys plenty of time after this for any kind of questions, but just remember before, if anyone's going to jump off, that we will be sending you, like Linda said, updated versions of the sample posts and sample images. And be sure to use these new ones because they're a little bit updated. They're a little bit better, and kind of disregard the ones I sent initially. So we're going to send that out most likely tomorrow morning. And then if you do have any questions about the competition as it's going and getting started, again, I am here to answer any and all of those questions. You can email or call at any time, but know that the videos will be going live on January 20th, and then we have the 10 days to really push for that. So that being said, are there any questions about anything that was discussed about logistics, social media, prizes, anything like that?
Matt?
Yeah.
Does this work? Okay. It's Naomi. I am wondering about the prizes. So I guess you get them in installments, and then they are used for these different purposes.
Right.
Let's say, for example, that you are using the $800 for supplies, and you only need 600 of it at that moment. Do
Yeah.
you get the rest of it and you keep that within your arsenal? And
Yes, that's a great question. Of course, yes, you get the rest of it, and that can go so that you can use that just for sustain anything you want to really at that point. But
okay, that's great.
Yep. No, you don't have to give it back.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Anything else? Is everyone excited? Feel ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Hi, Matt. It's Sarah.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask if this Prezi is available to share with my students that couldn't be, a part of this call.
Definitely. I will shoot probably tomorrow morning when I send out the new documents. I'll send the link to this Prezi to use on your own, and also a link to the recording of this as well, so you can use either of those.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
Yep. No problem. Yeah, and that's actually a great. I mean, it reminds me that if you sharing this with the rest of your team is clearly really important. So either relay to them in a meeting what you said or what I've said, or you can send them the recording directly, or send them this Prezi link. But it's great for everyone on your team to know kind of the general rules, so they know when they're promoting this how to be most effective. So yeah, I think that's a great thing to bring up. Anything else? All right. Well, as always, if you have any further questions that you thought of later, email me, give me a call. I'd be more than happy to work with that. And let me just say again how excited we are to get this going. So I'm looking forward to just seeing how it all turns out. So thank you guys for taking a little bit of time. I hope this was informative. And I will talk to you all soon, and best of luck.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.